friends. So today we're just going to talk about a few authors that I have never read that I am excited to finally read, that I really want to try and see why everyone is talking about them. And it's in no particular order. And this definitely is not all the authors that I want to read. These are just the ones that I had in my collection that I still haven't read anything by. And I just thought, why not talk about these authors and tell you why I'm excited to read them. Although most of them are very big here in the booktube community. I started saying booktube. It was booktube and community, but I just combined them and I don't even know what I was going to say. Sorry. But these authors are very big in the booktube community. So I'm pretty sure you've heard of most of them. If not, then I might be introducing you to a new author that you want to read as well. So let's just dive right in. The first one is someone that I've heard does really good retellings, which is good because I got one of her retellings. But Colleen Oakes is someone that I've been hearing a lot about. So I got Queen of Hearts by her, which is a Wonderland retelling type of book. Only I don't think Alice is in this one. It's just the Queen and her evilness in this book. So not only does the book sound great, but I really want to read something by Colleen Oakes. So, yeah. Then this book I'm sure you've heard of. It's been so hyped on BookTube. But I have 3 books by this author, and I have yet to read anything by her. So, another hyped author that I'm super excited to read, hopefully this year, I'm really hoping this year, is Bridget Kemmer. And she wrote A Curse So Dark and Lonely. But I also have Call It What You Want, and also More Than We Can Tell. And these are all by Bridget Kemmer. And yet, I haven't read anything by her. So, I keep collecting books by this author. So why don't I read them? I don't know, guys. Okay. And then, so technically, I guess this one is an author that I've read once, because in January, I ended up reading Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. But I loved his writing style, and I was very impressed being introduced to him in Monster Calls. So I want to read more Patrick Ness. This one is The Knife of Never Letting Go. This one sounds amazing because if I remember correctly, this takes place in a world where you can hear everybody's thoughts and everybody can hear your thoughts. So there are literally no secrets. And I'm so excited for this. But Patrick Ness I just want to read more by him. Then so I love watching Books and Lala. And she talks about Ruth Ware a few times. And I think she's read The Death of Miss Westaway, and I think she liked it, but I know that she's read The Woman in Cabin 10, The Turn of the Key, and I've seen In a Dark, Dark Wood and The Lion Game on BookTube before too. So I've seen all of her books on BookTube, and they're like mystery and suspense and thrilling, and I am all for that. Sounds amazing. Sorry, I keep saying sounds amazing, but literally does. I cannot wait to start reading Ruth Ware, and this is my prediction for this video. I'm going to like Ruth Ware so much that I'm going to collect all of her books. Even if that just means collecting them on Kindle. I'm going to collect and read all of her books. I feel like I'm really going to like Ruth Ware. Then I loved her Netflix adaptation of her books, but I have yet to read Jenny Han. And this is not P.S. I Still Love You or P.S. I Love You, the trilogy, although I would not be opposed to having that trilogy. Just saying. But this is The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. And I've just heard really great things about Jenny Han, and I want to learn for myself how good her writing is. I know that the movies based on her writing are really good. And then, drum roll, please, for my last one. So, this one's way out of my comfort zone. But I watch a lot of fantasy booktubers. Yes, you heard me right. Fantasy booktubers. I don't typically read fantasy, but I like watching most fantasy books movies, most fantasy movies, and I like watching booktubers who have different opinions than me, different styles. Gives me something, to think about. But on these fantasy booktubers channels, I see a lot of Neil Gaiman. And this is very outside of my comfort zone. It's called Stardust. It's fantasy. I don't know if it's high fantasy or soft fantasy. Honestly, I can't even really tell you the difference between the two. I just know, I don't know anything about this book either. I just know that it was in the fantasy section, it was on sale, and I saw Neil Gaiman's name, and I hear that name on BookTube all the time. And then I thought I would talk about a few honorable mentions that I don't currently have any other books yet. Not that I don't want their books or to read these, I just haven't gotten my hands on them yet. So let's just dive in. There's Marissa Meyer. In particular, the Lunar Chronicles, because as far as I can tell, it's like twisted fairy tales, and your girl is all about fairy tales, okay? Any retellings, anything like that, I love it. Then Colleen Hoover is supposed to be really good. I think she's more like romance, but I don't know a whole lot, so don't quote me on it, please, if I'm wrong. And then I know that there were a couple more. Okay, so I want to try a Joe Hill and a Owen King novel, just because they're Stephen King's kids, and I want to see how they differ from Stephen King. And there was one, okay, so technically I've read one Riley Sager novel, and it drug on and on and on and on, and I hated it. I wanted to love it, but I did not like it. And I want to give Riley Sager one more chance. I really want to read Final Girls. I started with The Last Time I Lied, and I just could not get into it. I wanted to so bad, but it just wasn't for me. So I'm hoping to get a different Riley Sager and really get into it, you know? Just sounds really good. Most of Riley Sager's work is like thrilling and intense and even a little bit scary, and that's perfect for what I want to read like all the time. So I'm starting to think that I'm more of a scary booktube reader. A scary book reader. I love anything scary, any kind of crime or mystery. I haven't been gravitating towards romance or love. In fact, the ones that are solely based on romance and love, I've been not liking lately. So if you have any recommendations, put them in the comments down below of authors or even just books. I don't really know what else to talk about. So, here are some of the new authors that I want to try. Whoa. Right? So, yeah, if you got any recommendations for me, put them in the comments down below. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys!